Welcome to the deep dive, where we deep dive into topics you want to know about, but, without drowning in information overload.
That's right. We cut to the chase. No
Yep.
filler.
So today we're taking on, I think, something a lot of people think about these days, making money online, right?
Yeah, it's a pretty hot topic.
It is. And our source material this time, it's a YouTube video,
Okay.
actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, by this guy, Mark Tilbury. And the title is pretty straightforward, How to Actually Make Money Online, with the parenthetical, just to, make sure we get it. No BS guide.
I like it when they get straight to the point,
Yeah, no fluff.
right to the good stuff.
So for this deep dive, we're basically taking Tilbury's whole framework, all the good stuff, and we're going to condense it down, give you the key takeaways.
A cheat sheet, if you will.
Exactly. For busy people who want the knowledge but don't have hours to spend sifting through a whole YouTube video,
Makes sense.
right? All right, so who is this Mark Tilbury anyway? Well, according to his video, he's been a self-made millionaire, get this, since 1995.
Wow, back in the early internet days.
Yeah, crazy, right? He ran traditional businesses back then, but then, as he puts it, the internet came along and made them irrelevant.
I can only imagine.
I know, right? But he didn't just give up. Instead, he dove headfirst into the online world, making, losing, making, again, millions, like ups and downs, the whole roller coaster.
Sounds like he's learned a thing or two along the way.
Oh, yeah. And now he's sharing what he learned, this so-called no BS guide to building something real online.
Not just some quick scheme.
No, he's talking about building something sustainable over time, like 6 to 12 months.
So a realistic time frame, not some overnight miracle.
Exactly. Now, the foundation of his approach is what he calls the online wealth wheel.
A wheel, huh?
Yeah, it's this idea of, different stages you go through, like a journey, right?
Interesting visual.
Yeah. So he outlines 3 main stages, but then he's got this secret 4th stage.
Oh, a secret stage. This is getting good.
It is. So today we're going to walk through each stage of this wheel, kind of give you like a mental map of the whole process of making money online, step by step.
Love it. Take it away.
Let's do it. Let's start with stage 1, which Tilbury very directly calls no side hustle.
So this is for people who haven't even dipped their toes in the water yet.
Exactly. And he drops this kind of surprising stat right off the bat. 55% of people, he says, never even start a side hustle.
More than half. That's wild.
I know. I was surprised too.
Why do you think that is?
Well, he gives a couple reasons. First, he says, inflation, things are getting expensive.
Right, the cost of living is going up everywhere.
So relying on just one paycheck is like getting riskier and riskier.
It's scary, honestly.
Yeah. So you'd think, more people would be looking for extra income streams, right?
Yeah, makes sense.
But they aren't. And the second big reason he gives is, well, the internet itself.
What? Like it's too hard to figure out?
He calls it a jungle. Like all these ads and methods and promises, just so much information. Overwhelming, yeah.
Totally. People get lost, don't know where to start, who to trust,
So they just end up doing nothing.
It's kind of paralyzing.
I get it.
So Tilbury's advice for getting past that initial hurdle is, well, it's pretty practical.
Lay it on me.
Choose a method that works for you, like something that fits your skills.
What kind of skills?
Oh, he mentions things like video editing, graphic design, coding, even setting up Discord servers.
Those are valuable skills. People need that stuff.
Yeah, and people are willing to pay for it, so if you've already got those skills, boom, you're in a good spot.
What if you don't have those specific skills, though?
That's where he introduces the alternative, which is focusing on, product-based businesses.
Oh, interesting.
Specifically, he's talking about selling online, but without having to keep your own inventory.
So drop shipping, stuff like that.
Yeah, he doesn't get into the specifics yet, but he presents it as a solid starting point, especially if you're, if you don't want to be trading hours for dollars.
Not everyone's cut out for freelancing, that's for sure. Right. And that brings us to stage 2, the running a failing side hustle stage.
Failing, huh? That's a little harsh.
Well, he defines failing here as making less than $50 a month online.
Okay, so not exactly raking it in.
Right. And get this, he says 28% of people who actually start something online fall into this category.
Wow, so over a quarter of them are barely making anything.
It's a lot. And here's where Tilbury gets maybe a little controversial.
Oh.
He says, a lot of the time, it's not because the side hustle itself is bad.
It's the person's fault.
Well, not exactly fault, but he says the main problem is often a lack of, consistent effort.
Not putting in the work.
Yeah, not putting in the time, not being consistent,
That's tough love right there.
It is. And the biggest culprit, he says, is shiny object syndrome.
What's that?
Oh, it's like you see all these different methods, all these promises of making money online, and you just jump from one to the
Oh, I
next.
see. Always chasing the next big thing.
Exactly. Drop shipping this week, print on demand next week, then Amazon KDP, then
Hmm.
stock trading, then you get the idea.
You never actually build anything up.
Right, you're always starting from scratch.
So frustrating.
He compares it to miners, like digging for gold, but they give up right before they strike it rich.
Oof, that's a painful image.
So Tilbury's big recommendation here is pick one thing, something that's easy to start and has potential to grow, and stick with it.
Don't get distracted by the shiny objects.
Exactly. And if you don't have those high-income skills we talked about earlier, he has a specific recommendation:
I'm listening.
e-commerce.
Oh, like setting up an online store.
Yeah, but not like the traditional way you might be thinking.
What do you mean?
He's talking about AI-powered Shopify store builders, specifically this tool called Buildyourstore.ai.
AI, huh? That's getting pretty fancy.
It is. He says, like, back in the day, it would take weeks to set up a decent online store. But now, with AI, you can do it in minutes.
Wow, that's a game changer.
It is. You just enter some basic info, pick a niche, fashion, tech, pets, whatever.
Uh-huh.
And the AI does the rest, picks products, designs the store, makes it look professional, all ready to go.
No design skills needed.
Nope, the AI handles it all. And the best part, it's free to build the store itself. Then it integrates with Shopify.
Shopify, yeah, I've heard of that.
And they have this awesome deal, a 3-month trial for just $1 a month.
That's a pretty low barrier to entry.
Right, but then of course the big question is, how do you actually get people to buy stuff?
Right, a store's no good if nobody's shopping in it.
Exactly. And that's where Tilbury brings in another tool, this one called AutoDs.
AutoDs, what's that?
It's like, think of it as autopilot for your e-commerce business.
Okay, tell me more.
So it connects to your Shopify store and it basically automates everything.
Everything.
Well, a lot of the key stuff, like finding trending products, importing them, keeping the prices and pictures updated, even shipping the orders directly to customers.
Whoa, so you don't have to handle any of the physical stuff.
Not if you don't want to. No
Yeah.
packing boxes, no trips to the post office.
That takes a lot of the hassle out of it.
Huge time saver.
Mm.
Now, full disclosure, Tilbury mentions that AutoDS is a long-term sponsor of his channel.
Makes sense. Got to keep the lights on somehow.
But he emphasizes, like, he would recommend them anyway, sponsors or not.
Based on his own experience.
Yeah, he seems to genuinely believe in the tool.
That's good to know.
It is. All right, so now you've got your store, you've got the automation in place. What's next?
Getting customers, I guess.
Exactly. And Tilbury's suggestion here is to leverage TikTok, make free videos to promote your products.
TikTok, huh? Seems like everyone's on that these days.
It's huge, and the organic reach is still pretty good.
So you don't have to pay for ads.
Not necessarily. Tilbury gives this example. He says, imagine you get 100,000 views on a TikTok video about your product.
100,000, that's a lot of eyeballs.
It is. And then say you have a 1% conversion rate, meaning 1 out of every 100 viewers buys something.
Okay, and if your product is, say, $10.
Boom, you just made $10,000.
Dang, that's not bad for a free video.
Right. So the takeaway from this stage is commit to a simple model, automate as much as you can, like with this AI e-commerce approach, and then put in the work to get those customers.
Sounds like a plan.
It is. All right, so we've tackled not starting, we've tackled kind of spinning our wheels in that failing stage.
What's next?
Now we're on to stage 3, the running a successful side hustle stage.
Okay, so now we're talking real money.
Well, Tilbury defines successful here as making more than $50 a month online, consistently.
At least it's more than 50. That's the start.
It is, but he clarifies that what he really considers successful is getting to, like, the higher end of that spectrum.
Like how high?
Think like $1,000 to $10,000 a month.
Wow, now we're talking serious side hustle money.
Exactly. But
Yeah.
here's the kicker. He says only 16% of people who start making money online actually reach this level.
So the vast majority are still stuck below that.
It's a pretty big jump, from $50 a month to thousands.
What separates the successful ones then?
Tilbury lays out 4 key steps. Let's break those down.
Hit me.
Step 1, stop trying to appeal to everyone.
Huh. That's kind of counterintuitive.
I know, right? Seems like you'd want to reach as many people as possible.
Makes sense to me.
But Tilbury's point is, by trying to be everything to everyone, you end up appealing strongly to no one.
You get lost in the crowd.
Exactly. So he emphasizes the importance of, like, really defining your ideal customer.
Like, who are they? What do they want?
Exactly. Age, interests, what are their struggles, what kind of content do they consume, like get specific.
And how does that help?
Well, he says it's like, imagine you're trying to get someone's attention.
Okay, I'm imagining.
Is it more effective to, like, shout general stuff into a crowded room?
Probably not.
Or to speak directly to one person, addressing their specific needs and interests?
Yeah, the direct approach is probably better.
Right. So understanding your target audience lets you tailor your marketing, make it way more effective.
So it's about quality over quantity.
Exactly. Step 2 is all about consistency.
So showing up every day, that kind of thing.
Yeah, Tilbury's noticed that a lot of people, they start with a bang, tons of energy, then they fizzle out.
Lose motivation?
They don't see results fast enough, so they give up.
That's a shame.
It is. And his advice here is don't aim for perfection, just aim for consistency.
To keep the ball rolling.
Exactly. Small, manageable actions every day. Keep your store visible. Keep your products top of mind.
So what kind of actions are we talking about?
Oh, like posting content regularly, engaging with comments, testing different product descriptions and images, stuff like that.
So keep tweaking, keep experimenting.
Yeah, little by little, it adds up over time.
Slow and steady wins the race.
Right. All right, step 3 is show, don't just tell.
What does that mean in the context of selling online?
Well, Tilbury's point is a lot of marketing just, like, talks about the product but doesn't actually show its value.
Like what's in it for the customer?
Exactly. He uses the example of, like, custom gaming controllers.
Okay, I like where this is going.
So you could just show some generic gameplay footage and be like, buy my controller.
Not very compelling.
Right. But what if you actually show the controller itself, highlight its features, extra buttons, trigger stops, whatever, and then explain how those features translate into benefits for the gamer.
Like faster reactions, better accuracy.
Yeah, and you could even compare it directly to a standard controller, show the difference.
So people can really see the value.
It's about making the value proposition clear, immediate,
Show them what they're getting, why it's better.
Right. And finally, step 4 is building trust with social proof.
Social proof, huh? That's a big one these days.
Especially online where people can't physically interact with your product before buying.
I need some reassurance.
They need to see that other people have tried it, liked it,
Makes sense.
Tilbury says, even if you don't have tons of sales yet, there are ways to build social proof.
Like what?
Oh, you could order your own product, film an unboxing video, show what people can expect.
That's a good idea.
Or ask friends and family to try it out, give honest reviews.
Even if they're not your target audience.
Well, some feedback is better than no feedback, right? And he also suggests, like, showcasing real people using your products, not just stock photos.
The more authentic, the better.
Right. It's about showing that your business is legit, that people have had positive experiences.
Builds that trust factor.
Exactly. So we've made it through the first 3 stages of the online wealth wheel. We're on a roll.
I'm liking this wheel analogy.
Me too. Now we come to the final, the secret stage, stage 4, running an elite side hustle.
Ooh, elite level. This is where it gets serious.
And Tilbury says less than 1% of people who try to make money online ever reach this stage.
Wow, the 1%ers of the online world?
So what sets them apart?
Spill the beans.
Tilbury says the key difference is reinvesting profits back into the side hustle.
Wait, so not spending the money you make?
Well, he acknowledges the temptation, you want to enjoy your earnings.
Of course, treat yourself.
But he says the most powerful thing you can do is use that money to grow your business even more.
So it's like using your profits as fuel.
Exactly. He even says in the early stages, it's better to invest in your own business than, like, the stock market.
Because you have more control.
Yeah, you can directly influence the outcome,
Makes sense.
So he outlines 3 main areas for reinvestment.
Let's hear them.
First is upgrading your tools.
Like getting better software, that kind of thing.
Yeah. In the beginning, you might be using free or basic tools, doing a lot manually. But as you start making more money, you can invest in things that save you time, help you scale up.
Makes sense. Work smarter, not harder.
Right. Second is getting more customers.
So investing in marketing.
Exactly. He says the elite folks, they don't just wait for customers to come to them, they go out and get them.
How do they do that?
Oh, things like paid ads, testing different content, collaborating with influencers, stuff like that.
So they're constantly trying new things, seeing what works.
Always experimenting, yeah. And the third area for reinvestment is outsourcing.
Outsourcing, so hiring people to do stuff for you.
Exactly. Even in the early stages, it can be helpful to delegate some tasks, free up your time.
So you can focus on the bigger picture.
Right. He gives examples like, hiring someone to design a logo or help with social media content.
Things you could technically do yourself, but maybe shouldn't.
Exactly. So it's this whole mindset shift, right? You see your profits not just as money to spend, but as fuel to grow your business.
Long-term vision.
It is. All right, so that was our whirlwind tour of Mark Tilbury's online wealth wheel.
We covered a lot of ground.
We did. We went from not starting at all to barely making anything to building a successful side hustle to reaching that elite level.
And we learned about the key steps to take at each stage.
Choosing the right method, committing to it, understanding your customer, consistency, social proof, reinvesting profits, all that good stuff.
It's a lot to take in, but it's all actionable advice.
That's the goal, right? Give you information you can actually use.
Make it practical.
So here's the final thought for today. Think about which stage of this wheel you're currently in.
Honestly, assess where you're at.
Right. Are you still on the sidelines thinking about starting?
Or maybe you're stuck in that failing stage feeling frustrated.
Or maybe you're seeing some success and want to take it to the next level.
Whatever stage you're in, there's always room for improvement.
So what's one small thing you can do right now, based on what we talked about, to move yourself forward?
Even a tiny step can make a difference in the long run.
It all adds up. So we encourage you, take some time to really think about Tilbury's framework.
Let it sink in.
See how it applies to your own goals, maybe even revisit your current strategy.
It might be time for a change, a refocus, a reinvestment.
The online world is constantly evolving, so keep learning, keep adapting, and keep that wheel turning.
And who knows, maybe you'll be joining that elite 1% someday.
We believe in you. Thanks for joining us on the Deep Dive.
Until next time.